Hey guys, so somebody is throwing a major tantrum on aisle 16.
No!
Just when we thought it was safe to go out and buy some cookies again, oh no, new Jeans Mama and her girls are throwing another major cookie tantrum. We had an ultimatum this week by the new Jeans members themselves. We had this shocking declaration that New Jeans Mama wants HYBE to pay her all her cookies before she runs out the door. And all of this has come to distract us from a major bombshell report of a possible insider trading scandal involving New Jeans Mama. And not to mention, of course, it's timed to steal the spotlight on Illit and BTS Jin. Oh, so it looks like she's just trying to grab whatever she can off of a sinking ship and hope that the life raft can carry it. Min Hee-jin, New Jeans Mama. Yes, she was denied coming back as CEO. HYBE has said that repeatedly, and they compromised by saying, hey, New Jeans Mama, we will let you still be mama to the girls until the end of their contract, which is about like 5 more years. I don't know how you can stand 5 more years of narcissistic mama, but good luck to the girls. But the girls want, of course, Min Hee-jin to be the CEO. That was part of their 8-point ultimatum that they released to the press. But let's talk about New Jeans Mama first. Yes, she is digging really deep into the bottom of that cookie jar, and she's trying to, I guess, look for any remaining bunny uncles, quite possibly a Wi-Fi router manufacturer that we'll get to in a little bit. But this week, a few days ago, she essentially registered with HYBE saying that I want my stock options. And remember, HYBE over the summer said, okay, we found a way, we're canceling our contract with you and we'll bring you back on as a producer of New Jeans, but not the CEO. And because you're not the CEO, we don't got to give you your stock options anymore. Well, at the time, Min Hee-jin was saying like, well, I don't accept that agreement. Like, she's just deciding. I mean, her law is the law of the world. I mean, that's how a lot of this crazy making narcissistic behavior behaves, is that they want to make sure the world is in their image. And they believe it to such an extent that I guess she can supersede the Constitution of South Korea and all of the legal rulings. And to be fair, she's probably found that she can. You just say it long enough, you try hard enough, and you sprinkle out cookies as much as you can, or at least the promises of, and it's amazing what actually you can do in terms of making the world according to your image or how you want it. But at a certain point, you're going to get resistance and people saying like, H to the no. And here, it does reek of desperation in the way that Min Hee-jin is asking for her stock options. So let's say the stock options was legitimate. Like, let's say even if HYBE didn't want to give the stock options to her, and let's say the court ruled in Min Hee-jin's favor, it still reeks of desperation that she would exercise the stock options now in November, before the year is done. If she just waited till January, most likely she would get so much more money. Remember we said it was about like $75 million to $100 million? Well, if she gets her way, she'd only be left with about $26 million. And so that's like a very big decrease. And it does seem a little bit desperate. However, I think she's understanding like that's probably as good of the game that I can get if if she's even successful, the chances of her being successful are infinitesimally low. Now, how is there such a discrepancy in the amount? Remember, with the stock options, it is to encourage the CEO to do their best job to make as much money for the company. And so the stock options were based on how much profit that she was able to bring in. And instead of it being like, oh, it's not fair if it's just based on last year, we'll average it out over 2 years, and the multiple would be 13x the profits. Basically, if you do the math, essentially she would get about $26 million if she is granted the stock options. Now, the problem is that if we're taking the average of the previous 2 years, we're looking at 2022 and 2023. In 2022, ADOR actually lost about $4 million. And then in 2023, ADOR made a profit of about $33.5 million. So that would be the basis. 33.5 minus 4, so about 29.5 billion won or $1 million is the profit that then you would do the math around. But most people think that, well, especially if she hadn't gotten into any fights with HYBE, then definitely it would have been so much more profitable for her to just even wait until January, because then you would be able to average out the profits of 2023, and 2024. So 2023, as we said, there was a profit of about 33.5 billion won. And 2024, the numbers haven't come out yet, but it's looking like it would be also a profitable year. So you get 2 profitable years instead of 1 profitable year and then 1 minus year. However, I could see that Min Hee-jin is also just trying to get what she can and be able to calculate for certain, because the numbers for 2022 are in, 2023 are in. If I was HYBE, if I was HYBE and ADOR, I would spend and just make massive losses for 2024 to despite her. However, of course, that can affect the overall corporate, accounting health. But if there are other, if ADOR can pick up the tab for the heating bill for the entire building, the winter months, it's already cold now. If they can pick up the tab for that, if they can pick up, the tab for the cafeteria food for everybody and just like put all the losses in ADOR, I think she's probably a bit concerned that there may be accounting funny business, because that's definitely what she would do. Oh, she would definitely do that just to spite, if somebody else were her and she found out about her. The ironic thing about, people like this is that if anybody acted the way they did to them, they would not have a second of it. And so she's probably thinking like, well, I would do that. So she's scared. And so she probably wants to just like, okay, fine. 26 is better than nothing. But it looks like you're not going to get anything, because she's already failed in the injunction effort in October to try to get the CEO position, which would then kick in her stock options. And now she would just have to go through lengthy lawsuits. And by the time it's done, she may be looking at a multiple, 13x profits, right, is the way you calculate it, and then you divvy it up by the amount of percentage shares you have. Of course, by year 2, 3, 4, this can drag on for years. That HYBE and ADOR is going to literally create a situation of no profits for ADOR. ADOR would be like a ghost company. ADOR would be the way that Min Hee-jin wanted to make it, an empty shell. So see how karma works its way around. Min Hee-jin's plans that we have evidence of, and even the language she used, was to make an empty shell out of ADOR. Well, it would definitely be in HYBE's interest now to make an empty shell out of ADOR, especially if Min Hee-jin pursues litigation to try to get her stock options, because by the time the litigation is over and they make her the CEO again, and let's say the stock options kick in, well, if there's no profit, then basically she gets no value whatsoever out of those stock options. So unless it's backdated retroactively, I don't know the particular law in that scenario, but HYBE would definitely have a great case of like, no, it's just the average of the previous years, from the institution of her as CEO. And if that comes like 3 years or 4 years down the line, then there's no profit. There's no profit for her to get any stock options off of. And I think she's seeing this roadmap out ahead of her, and she's going to try to take what she can get based on like what is easy for the judges to see on paper. Okay, 2022 and 2023, that's all in the books, it's been filed, and then it makes it easier a situation to probably persuade the judge. Because if 5 years from now, if she's trying to say, no, but I want the average of 2022 and 2023, that would be a much harder, I bet, legal challenge to climb. So she's just trying to grab what she can on the Titanic, watch her forks, watch her plates, watch her linens. She's going to take it all. And everyone's saying like, well, but your ship is sinking. What you going to do on the lifeboat? Well, we do know what she's going to do on that lifeboat. Remember with the Titanic, it was women and children first. Well, she is now, again, using her children, sending her children out to the iceberg. And the New Jeans girls, remember they had that long YouTube live press conference saying that they are horrified with the way HYBE is acting, and HYBE needs to have its executives stay in their own lane and bring back Min Hee-jin. Well, they basically had an almost identical set of demands. Imagine any other girl group or boy group in there demanding that their main producer become the CEO of the sublabel. Demand that they have Min Hee-jin back. They had about 8 points, and some of them, it was just like fodder. It's fodder to monopolize the news space so you don't talk about the horrific accusations against the New Jeans girls and Min Hee-jin, of course. And so also among these demands were having that manager who allegedly said to ignore Hani to issue a formal apology. There were a lot of other people, the Netizen Investigation Bureau has found that the dates don't match on her claim, that even in some like forensics of it, that Illit wasn't even in the country, that they were performing overseas. So we need a full audit. Yes, which they already did. They already went through the CCTV. But we need more auditing into New Jeans and to see whether they are lying. And if is there a part in the HYBE company manual about lying? That would be interesting. And especially if the National Assembly bunny uncles were so adamant of throwing up HYBE's code of conduct manual in the faces of HYBE executives, I wonder if they should add a clause in code of conduct at HYBE: do not cavort around with members of the National Assembly, especially if they're offering to be your bunny uncle. So the New Jeans girls want ADOR to be returned to its original state when they were so happy until March 2024, right? When everything went down, especially with the shaman. Where's that shaman again? And then they said, we missed the New Jeans that was so full of dreams about the music stage and creativity, which we were going to show along with former CEO Min Hee-jin. Look, girls, these were not full of your dreams of the music. It was a nightmare in HYBE, bullying and stomping all over the other artists to fulfill your nightmare and crushing the dreams of other people. There has to come a time when there is accountability and weighing the pros and cons of whether an employee or a group of employees or, a whole Girl Scout troop is going to be a cancer on the organization. And that's what we have seen here. So don't have this talk about like, oh, we want to go back to when we were happy. Your happiness came at the cost of misery for the entire company and also the fandom of a completely different group, BTS, that had nothing to do with the machinations of your group, except for the fact that your mama, the one that you want to bring happy times again, was plotting to destroy in 2024. So HYBE said, yes, we got this statement from the New Jeans girls by registered mail, although it took a few days because HYBE's initial response was that, no, we haven't gotten this letter yet, even though it was already leaked and reported to the media what was in this letter. A little bit odd, huh? Yeah, that's a media play, y'all. And most likely the girls didn't even know how to lick a stamp, and maybe they didn't even know how to address it or remember what floor they were on, because when's the last time they were there? Okay, they're just in the makeup studio. Maybe they just only go up to the 4th floor, terrorize some people on the elevator ride. And there's just a funny aside. Apparently they were the New Jeans girls, because of their mama. This is why they want their mama back, to get them special treatment with everything. They apparently had their own separate makeup studio or space that other people didn't use. And so the incident that they keep bringing up about Honey being bullied outside the makeup studio, that's not a makeup studio that she should have ever been around or have used, because they have their own. So it doesn't add up. Things are just not adding up. And right now it's the onus of New Jeans for throwing out all these accusations for them to substantiate their claims. And also, as a little bit of another aside, which is the reason why all of this New Jeans shenanigan news is not covering up, but basically having the effect of covering up because it's dominating what people are writing and talking about. Well, Illit's creative director, the creative director of B-Lift Labs, just sued Min Hee-jin, saying like, look, bring it. If you think I copied you, then bring it. And I understand her sentiment. I mean, beyond the middle finger, we got to give it to her. Like, yes, she was the one that posted that Instagram picture of her beautifully laced hand with the middle finger during Min Hee-jin's press conference. So you're going to rattle a saucy girl like that. Ooh, that sauce is going to spill off the dish, okay? And so is essentially defending her reputation, her honor. What else is there in terms of your reputation as a creative director than being creative? Yes, I'm sure that there's much more than just creativity, but in terms of being accused of plagiarism, that hits at the heart of the major skill set that you're hiring a creative director for. And if it gets out that all they do is copy, then that is a huge hit to her career. So she's suing Min Hee-jin, being like, bring it, girl. Bring the receipts and try me. So she's just racking up all these lawsuits, this Min Hee-jin. So that's also one aside, but what else is it covering up? It's of Illit. Illit's release this week of their new song Tic Tac. Very cute. Love the tennis theme, and that it's like kind of coated with that 90s cute cinematic crush sequences. So that's kind of cool. And then also who BTS Jin with the launch of his new solo album Happy and the first song Running Wild, both really great. And then also, let's not forget Sserafim performing at the award show overseas and getting tons of accolades and praise. She is Min Hee-jin, that new Jeans Mama from the cookie aisle on aisle 16, is trying to upstage everybody else at HYBE for her New Jeans kids. Now, kids, New Jeans kids, I doubt you're listening, but if you're listening, get it through your head. This is a mama who is sabotaging other kids and making it seem like you're even more special and cherished. She is gaming the system for you. That's why you like her so much. She is taking resources from other groups in the building, getting you your own makeup studio, like pushing other people aside for you. That's why you want her. But you realize that that is at a cost that is not sustainable. And actually now, just I'm sure you know better than all of us, created enemies everywhere in that building, because unless you are successfully able to bully everybody else into submission, then you be prepared for the backlash. And of course, these girls are so young, and then they're artists, so they're not necessarily equipped to be able to handle these onslaughts and create this atmosphere of chilling fear and bullying. So they need their new Jeans Mama to have the power of the CEO seat, but she ain't never, ever, ever gonna get it. And so now the New Jeans girls are saying like, well, if you don't comply with our ultimatum, again, like, didn't they already say this? Like, if you don't comply with our ultimatum, well, they're doing it again. If you don't comply with our ultimatum in 2 weeks, or that's about like November 27th, that they are going to cancel their exclusive contract. However, based on what and how? Because it's a contract. And so unless they have the milk money and the lunch money and like the GDP of a small country to pay the exit fee to HYBE, you ain't canceling anything. You may, I don't know, maybe you'll take a sick strike or just, not work or do something, but the biggest losers in that is going to be the artists. Now, why would they go around with such bravado and think that they had an alternative? So this is a very interesting timing. There's many options to media plays, so maybe it was the best of both worlds in a very, a situation where there's dog poop everywhere that you can step on. So on some levels, having New Jeans throw this out really does kind of cover up this potential like insider trading scandal that involves Min Hee-jin, or it was meant to enhance it if it wasn't exposed and if it went well. So this is the suspicions that basically happened earlier this month, is that maybe there was a bunny uncle, among the crumbs in that cookie jar, and they picked up, and it was a company called Davolink that mainly just does Wi-Fi routers, but you can tell a little bit that they have some aspirations into somewhat of like more of branding or entertainment, because they made a license with the Minions characters to create some cute little Wi-Fi things. Yeah, it's really cute, but I don't know. I don't want to trust my data there. But they were now suspected of being a vehicle, like an acquisition vehicle of the girls and the, I guess, ADOR and Min Hee-jin. And of course, this has been refuted. So Min Hee-jin says these are groundless rumors, but people traded the stock on this information, and the rumors were rife. And in Korea, especially among the investment community, there is this I guess it's sort of like a blind type of system that where people anonymously share information, and it's supposed to be all kind of like, well, maybe, like it's not official fact. So maybe that gets around the insider trading laws or something. Because everyone's saying like, this is just a rumor thing, but it seems like. And so definitely among the investment community, and definitely we saw the changes in the stock price based on the actions of Min Hee-jin. What was it? Essentially, it looks like that this could be one of the latest victims of the Jezebel Institute of Treachery to potentially be somebody who hires Min Hee-jin, or basically creates this entity where New Jeans would go. If New Jeans says that they're going to cancel their exclusive contract in 2 weeks, where are they going to go? Like, what company, what label? Does Min Hee-jin have a company? Like, what money does she have? And what investors are still around after all of this hoopla? So what's the evidence? Is that Hane's dad was supposed to be on the board of directors and was like even named or some official document, but then the company walked it back. So maybe something didn't happen, because this, speak of a deal that could probably go sideways in 1,000 different directions. It's like a Wi-Fi router company moving into the entertainment business. And so maybe the deal blew up, because what happened was that the Davolink was reporting on all of these disclosures, but they kept delaying the date. And then Min Hee-jin made a public statement in an interview when they were asked, like the reporter asked her, because the reporters reporters got all this information, okay, and they're just like, well, I want to confirm it with you. And are you going to go to Davolink? What about Hane's dad being involved in this? And Min Hee-jin said that's just a rumor, it's not true. And then the stock plummeted. So in Korea, if your stock plummets 30%, it shuts off, because they don't want like everything to kind of crash down to zero. So it went as low as it could crash on one day, because she said that, oh, we're not going there. Why would So I think people, we need to have an investigation. Who knows? She could have played both sides of that cookie, because then she could have said like, oh, that's just a rumor, but then have all of her traders do like the short the stock type of situations and cash out that way. The Davolink people issued a report saying like, oh no, Hane's dad is no longer gonna be on our slate of inside directors. So literally they basically kind of said all we need to know. Okay, so what do you think? Do you think New Jeans Mama is going to be successful in her attempt to get her stock options? And do you think it also looks a little bit shady that she's literally willing to just take a third of what the expected payout would have been? It is just way too desperate, from the wailing kids on aisle 16 in front of them cookies, just crying and wailing. When are we going to get a break from this? And when will it be safe to buy cookies with a clear conscience again? All right, guys, put your comments below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.